As we hit the midway point in the season, game number 6 on the road at Eastern Michigan, this Husky team has endured nothing but pure struggle throughout this season so far. 0-5 on the year, and the offense especially has been hard to watch. Even on its best days, it has not been all that good. Forget conference championships, forget bowl games even, forget all of that. Right now, we are just trying to win a single game. And not many teams at this point in the year are still winless. We are one of very few, as Eastern Michigan, Terry Lockett, their leading receiver, takes the field. The receivers for this squad are what ultimately has done the heavy lifting for this team as a whole to even get them 3 wins on the year. Lockett and Rooks are the 2 to watch out for, but an early third down situation for Noah Kim as he goes underneath, caught. That is the previously mentioned Lockett at wide receiver, as he might be their best player. Now a handoff, Dante McMillan lost 2 yards, sets up another third down situation for Kim as he steps up and runs into pressure, but he breaks free. He floats one down the field and it's broken up, and an incredible play from Kim to get out of pressure, but not going to be able to complete the passes. Now Jalynne Leane takes the field. A lot has been made about this NIU quarterback situation. They want Leane pulled. Fans of NIU want a new quarterback to play, as he'll take a shot down the field in this first pass of the game, and that might be one of his best throws of the season. LaDon Bryant for the first down as Leane. I think he's maybe understanding that his job is slipping away. He's kind of maybe on a 3 strikes and he's out policy in the last 2 weeks. Well, that's strike 1 and strike 2. Will today be strike 3 as Leane keeps it on the read option. A nice start from him, but it's been about not being able to cash in a lot of touchdowns this season, as Telly Johnson, this team's best offensive player, gets 6 on the play. RPO right over the head of the receiver, and that's more what we've been accustomed to from Leane. A third down misfire, but an opening drive field goal is a sign of positivity, and the throw to LaDon Bryant was impressive, so we're going to hope that he's not going to be in a situation where he's making the difficult throws and missing the easy ones. Kim, though, on third down is going to find a man underneath. Jacob Finley comes up to make a tackle at a 3-and-out forced by the defense, and for once, NIU with the football in the lead. That hasn't happened maybe at all this season, it feels like. It's making 2nd down and 5 outside, low and behind Givens. 3rd down and 5 as Leane has got a man. It's Partridge who breaks a tackle. He goes backwards, but they give him forward progress. Thank goodness there as Leane off the play action. I mean, that was in coverage and he just flat out missed. 3rd down and 8. And he will go to the tight end. And that pass was high. That whole drive was full of just bad ball placement. Speaking of bad ball placement, one from Noah Kim there as 2nd down and 10 hits pump fake, and he's going to float one outside. McMillan on the check down. Finley comes down to make the tackle, and man, Jacob Finley is just so good at closing in on ball carriers as a sack comes in, and another stop by the defense. It's been a nice first quarter by the defense as Telly Johnson is going to slip through and get a 1st down carry, as I want to see this team maybe run the football even more, as Leane maybe had an open man down the field, but instead he fires one into triple coverage. Fortunately, though, he's going to get bailed out with a flag, but if you've seen, the post route was kind of streaking down the middle of the field, and while we are going to get a 1st down, it's still the wrong decision, as Partridge is going to get a wide open catch and run, and there is a 1st down back into field goal range, and NIU, at least they're still moving the football better than it's been the last couple of weeks, but Leane goes backwards and gets sacked. 3rd down and 24, just set up the screen, wanting to get back into field goal range as Telly Johnson gets 5, and that will be enough for us to try it, and the kick from 50 plus is good. 6-0 lead, but still you feel like maybe there's been some missed opportunities already. First quarter is going to be over with this McMillan carry. It will be a 6-0 lead for NIU, but to start the 2nd quarter, Kim is going to throw right down the middle. That's going to be caught, and Rooks breaks a tackle, cuts it the other way, and there goes Rooks. He is gone. Touchdown, Eastern Michigan. And one play, just like that, we are back down on the scoreboard. A first quarter of pretty solid progress. 2 scoring drives and good defensive effort just gets undone in one play, and Leane gets sacked. And he needs to just try to at least not lose a billion yards every sack, is now after good field position from the punt. McMillan, one carry from midfield all the way inside the 10, and Eastern Michigan opening things up on offense. Kim is going to get sacked, loss of 5, 3rd down and goal. And the defense now trying to stop the bleeding right now, as they've already allowed 2 big plays basically in the first 2 minutes of this quarter, and they will get the 3rd down stop. But the field goal try from Eastern Michigan is good. 10-6. They are on top still, as here is Jalen Poe, the other running back, getting a carry, losing a yard. 2nd and 11, Johnson back in is Macon, looking right, has an open man, Givens, that's going to be 7 yards and sets up 3rd and manageable. Eastern Michigan sends an extra man on the blitz, and that pass for Bryan, it's caught, but if you can see there, that's just a ball placement issue. It's just inaccuracy. He's completing the passes or getting them to the receivers, but it's just in such an unadvantageous spot for them to make a play off of it, and that's the difference between a 1st down and a 4th down. You complete the pass, yeah, but you didn't give them a chance to get that first, as the defense now coming back out here, forcing a 3rd and 6 from the 42-yard line. Kim, he's finding Porter Rooks. He had the big touchdown earlier, and he's at 100 yards on the day already. Kim up the play action now is going to get sacked. Jelani Williams, 3rd sack of the half for this defense. This 3rd and 15 hits, and they're taking a shot deep. 1-on-1, Rooks in the end zone. It's going to be knocked away, and Thompson was in coverage, and NIU will get the football back. Telly Johnson with the 4-yard carry sets up 2nd and 6 as they go to motion. Quick pass outside to Givens, and it will be just a 2-yard gain. Another 3rd and 4 situation. This time they'll run it, and Johnson has it very easily. Got 2.5 minutes to play in this half, as Macon, I think that was a little late. Johnson makes the catch, but Johnson was open a lot earlier in the flat, and maybe he had a little bit more room to run if he got it there earlier. Still will be 6, but lose yards on the read option. Macon now will have to be at 3rd and 6 at the 2-minute warning, and pressure comes in. He keeps on backing up. He gets rid of the football, but in the face of pressure, he just doesn't know how to handle it, and I can't act like the offensive line's helping him out too much, but also you got to handle the pressure better. You got to be quicker. You got to be more decisive. This Eastern Michigan squad, though, now under a minute to play, but they're in a good spot to maybe go and put some more points on the board. Kim stepping up into pressure. Sack, fumble, ball gets swatted back, but it's going to be scooped up by the Eagles, and a timeout for NIU, so they maybe want to see if they can get the football back, but maybe you shouldn't have, as a 16-yard grab's going to give Eastern Michigan a chance to burn a timeout. 3rd down over the head of the receiver, and that will take us to half, as NIU with just 20 seconds to go after receiving the punt just took it to half, and it's very clear that changes do need to be made here. I don't know how much longer you can really deal with Jalen Macon and what he's given you, and you got to just see what else you got. So here comes a quarterback change to start the second half. We wanted to wait till halftime, give him that extra time to prepare. It seems like that was the plan for NIU. If Macon wasn't getting the job done in the first half, they'd start the second half, and here is Josh Hulse, 3rd down and 4. First big situation for him. He goes underneath, and it's got to be pretty impressive to somehow not catch that football, because it was just laying on top of you. It's going to be a punt. I mean, maybe not the best of decisions, but it was right there. You could have caught it. And now Kim in the offense for Eastern Michigan, it's their first drive of the half, and they are finding these receivers, Lockett and Rooks, as now McMillan on the carry, and he'll get stopped right at the marker. 4th and inches, they punt it. That was a situation where you definitely could have went for a 4th and inches about midfield. Definitely a spot where a lot of coaches would have. They choose not to. Now Hulse will have a completion for the 1st down. There you go. As now a handoff. Telly Johnson is going to go right up the middle for a gain of 7. Go to 3rd down and 1. Direct snap. Here's Jalen Poe taking it for a 1st. And now another 1st down for this NIU offense, trying to maybe establish the run a little bit more, as they want to see maybe if they could just lean on this ground attack. Telly Johnson, another 1st down. Just get it to the best player, and maybe that is just the strategy you got to go with. Back to Johnson. He gets stopped in the backfield, and now maybe you got to go to the air. Hulse to drop the throw it, and he's going to be getting sacked. And that is more what we are used to from Macon, but now 3rd down and 23. He's going to take the shot deep. Bryan incomplete. And they punt the football, but at least we showed a little bit of potential to maybe lean on this ground game. It still is a one-score game, 10-6, not a high-scoring affair, but maybe the ground game can lead us to victory in this one as Kim steps up on 3rd down and 5. He's got the first down on the carry, and this has been a fast-moving 3rd quarter. A lot of running. Clock has been constantly going. McMillan, speaking of running, he gets a first down on the ground, and now we are ticking down towards a minute left in this quarter. RPO, and right past the defender's head. Finley can't track him down, and a 57-yard touchdown for Rooks, his 2nd of the game, and it's 17-6, and maybe it was a little late to now try to lean on this ground attack because it's a 2-score game. But Johnson, we're going to go for it anyway. He's got the first down carry. 4 seconds left in the 3rd, so the final play will be a throw underneath. Partridge has got it, and it will be a solid 9-yard gain to set up a 3rd and 2 to start the quarter handoff. Johnson, first down. And we're going to move the chains again. Johnson's 17th carry of the game as Holst will go to the air. He's got a man down the field. Brian has it knocked away. He got hit, and that was just a difficult grab to make. 3rd down and 10 as Holst on the run. Ball gets swatted, but into the hands of Morrow. It'll be a 7-yard gain, and because of that, it's a nice situation to go for. 4th down and 3. Holst underneath. Givens got the first down. Maybe you could have tried a really long field goal, cut it to a 1-score game, but we are in a spot where we need to get a touchdown regardless, and I don't know how many opportunities we're going to get at it. And Telly Johnson is just carrying this offense in this 3rd and 4th quarter. This second half has been all Johnson. Holst to throw it though. Underneath, intercepted. He threw it late, and Givens was the intended target, but it was just late. And that is maybe going to be our undoing because I don't know how many more chances our offense is going to have, and with those chances, can we even rely on them to get it done? As 7 minutes to play, McMillan checks out of the game. He got banged up, but the backup running back is coming in. He's running for a first down. He'll get the football again as James Joyner is going to get another solid carry, this one for 5. As Eastern Michigan resend the blitz. That pass high, caught. Great delivery in the face of pressure, and they're chewing up this clock. Just about 5.5 to play. Kim to run it. He'll take contact, but get 5 more. 3rd down and 5 as Kim is in enemy territory. Passes high, but caught. And Rooks again, his 8th grab of the game. He's at over 170 yards, and we've had no answer for Porter Rooks. 3rd down and 9 again for Kim. Underneath, that pass caught. He's reaching for it. Not going to get the first 4th and inches, but you can take the field goal, and it is going to be good. It will still be a 2-score game, so I mean, tell me if you heard this before. Not impossible, but pretty improbable as Johnson on the 21-yard reception. Got 3 minutes to go. Holst to the air as he'll find the tight end on the leaking out block and release route. And he fumbles the football! Come on! And I can't even blame the quarterback play. And to make it worse, Telly Johnson is hurt. Everything went wrong on that play. A fumble and Johnson injured. At least we're going to get the stop. But Telly Johnson has broken his hand. He's not going to come back to this one, and we'll see how long he'll be out for. But now, I mean, as if it couldn't get any worse for us. We're down our best offensive player. Minute and a half to go. Holst scrambling, fighting ahead. He'll fall forward for the first down, hurrying it back to the line. Holst to the air again. He's going to roll right, and he's got time. He's going to throw one down the field. Caught, and into the red zone we go. I think it's too little too late, but we're trying. Holst just extending the play. Fires a dangerous pass, but it's caught. Gary Givens to the 2. Handoff, and Jalen Poe touchdown. We have all of our timeouts, so we can get the football back. We're going to go for the onside kick, and the kick is going to be picked up by Eastern Michigan, and now a bit of pressure put on our defense. Can they handle it? Lockett's in the Wildcat as they'll go pop it to Joyner, and Joyner's going to cut outside. Defender gets leveled, and 1 little ounce of pressure got put on this defense, and they immediately folded. Touchdown from 39 yards out. And just when you thought maybe we'd have a small inch of a chance to make a comeback here, it's just completely undone. Holst with 30 seconds to play is just going to maybe pad the stats a little bit, but I can at least say in this fourth quarter. Holst has looked a bit better than Macon, and Givens now catch and run out of bounds, 17 seconds to go. And Holst is going to find Partridge open inside the 10, down to the 4, 12 seconds to play. As Holst will throw, blitz sent in its face, it's going to be intercepted! And that will do it. It didn't matter if you scored the touchdown, I guess it was just for a bit of pride. But that is going to wrap things up in this game. How about 0-6 on the season? And the struggles really come down to the offense there. I mean, 342 yards looks pretty nice on paper, but a lot of it was in a situation where it was just too little too late. But I will say, Josh Holst, I know it was 0-2 on the touchdown interception ratio, but I thought he looked a lot better than Macon. And also, I will say, coming off the bench cold, your first action of the season, you can give him a little bit of grace there. I mean, he was thrown into a situation where he got a half to play in a losing spot. He didn't play the best, but I mean, we'll take even minor improvements as the receivers, a lot of guys got involved, and we at least made some bigger plays towards the end. But the real story now is Telly Johnson's injury, as he was our guy carrying the offense. We gave him even more carries this past game, and he's going to be out for 6 weeks. That is, I mean, as if it couldn't get any worse. I mean, 18 carries. He got banged up in the Miami of Ohio game, but before that, 19 carries. This is a guy who was getting the football a lot for us, and now we don't have him for majority of our remaining games. I mean, what do you even do at this point? So I can say at least Josh Holst will get the start for the foreseeable future, and he'll at least get the opportunity to outright be this team's quarterback. But when it comes to recruiting, I guess the topic of running back is going to be what we stick with. Telly Johnson hurt. Jalen Poe will be the starter for going forward. We'll see who else gets some action as well. But this team at NIU loves to run the football. They've ran the football pretty well over the years. That's been what they've been best at over the past decade plus. It's been their bread and butter, and I want to add to that running back room, and I think I found a guy that might be able to help us out a little bit when it comes to that. So let me introduce to you our top running back on our board. In terms of players in this recruiting class that are feasible for us to get and players that we have a realistic opportunity at, I think Roxy Kennedy is one of my absolute favorite potential gets for this NIU team, and he is a player that is maybe on the field and with his profile athletically and his production isn't anything crazy. This is a guy whose biggest strength that he has no major weaknesses, and his biggest weakness is he doesn't have a major strength. He is by no means the biggest, the tallest, the fastest, the strongest. He is not any of that, but he is a well-rounded athlete, a well-rounded type of player who can play on all 3 downs. He has some catching ability, he's a willing blocker, has a nose for the end zone, and is able to punch in those short yardage situations. But, he maybe has a perceived lack of upside, isn't a crazy athlete, isn't going to break away big runs. He's not the guy who maybe is going to have the most flashy highlight reel. I guess from a personality standpoint, he does run hot and cold at times. Definitely a player who is very much dependent on the type of confidence he has that day. He is definitely somebody who gets in his own head sometimes, has some self-doubt, has some sort of internal struggle in that regard when it comes to his success. A lot of players are able to just kind of tune a lot of things out, get on the field and do their thing, and not let a lot of stuff impact them. You always say, when a player makes a mistake, you want to have a short memory. You want to be able to, if you throw an interception, hey, move on to the next one. Hey, you put the ball on the ground, you fumble, move on to the next one. Roxy does struggle with that a little bit, where he doesn't always move on to the next one. He takes that stuff to heart a little bit. That's just something you got to clean up, and something that you have to get past, move on, move past it. You fumble the football, it is what it is. He had a game in high school, put the ball on the ground in a late game situation, cost his team the game, just didn't come out the next game feeling right, came out a little flat, came out a little in his own head, made some mistakes, pressed too hard. Is the type of guy as a person You know, his leadership style is just quiet. He walks in, he does his job, he doesn't hang out with the team. He's off in his own little corner, you know, a little bit of a social outcast in some aspects, but he's a hard worker. He's generally well liked, doesn't speak much, but when he does speak, people listen. But he comes out there and he'll always try, he'll always give you his best. It just comes down to what type of personality you're willing to put up with as a coach and what type of person you want to have on your team. I think for us, we're fine having a person like that. As long as he delivers on the field and we can keep that confidence going and we can motivate him and he can keep on doing his thing, he's a type of running back that we could definitely use, and I do think even has ability to play from day one as a freshman. He's a very high floor player, a very safe player in that regard. So we're definitely putting in a lot of assets. You know, if we're putting together like maybe a top 5 type of prospect on our board, he is in that top 5 of prospects we are heavily pursuing. So we'll see if we can land Roxy Kennedy as we're battling out against some of the other MAC schools, Bowling Green, Ball State going after him, and even Wyoming getting some calls in there. So we're going to see if we can land him, but he's one of those top backs on our board and a player that we are going for pretty heavily.
Let's just keep digging that hole, guys, as we are now officially in the second half of the year, continuing conference play as we take on a team that I think record-wise you might think we have a chance against. It is a 1-5 Ohio Bobcats. I know this is primetime television, 0-6 versus 1-5 in the MAC. This is primetime action as we are on the road. Josh Holtz and Jalen Poe are the quarterback running back duo this week. No Telly Johnson, no Jalen Macon, and we're going to hope maybe some of those changes can help us out. Parker Navarro, the quarterback here for Ohio, just one single interception on the season, as he has at least not turned the football over all that much, but it hasn't resulted in much of any success in the win-loss category. But who are we to judge? They got more wins than us, as Navarro finds his man Jordan for a catch and run, and he was tough to bring down. 21 yards for Jordan as Navarro RPO. That's going to be caught. The top target for them, Mason Williams, their tight end. They like to get their tight ends involved quite a bit, so we'll see if we can match up well as the run gets stopped for a loss of 4. Navarro, 3rd down and 10. Blitz in, hit, and the ball is going to innocently fall to the ground, and we'll get the football for our first drive of the game. So Josh Holt's first start of the year, handing it off to Poe for a gain of 2. 2nd down and 8. Has a slant route to Givens. Maybe had a more open receiver in Morrow, who was just sitting in the middle, but now 3rd down and 3. There you go, LaDon Bryant, catch and run. Spin move from Bryant, and a 1st down and a catch and run. That was pretty impressive there. Holst is going to try to keep it on a read option. Not really a runner, less so than Macon, but he can move a bit as the pass underneath Gary Givens. There you go, 1st down. So 2 grabs for Givens, 19 yards on this drive as Holst play action rolling out, and he'll just throw one to Morrow, the other tight end. He reaches and he gets the 1st down. 1st and 10. Hand off to Poe on the edge. Jalen Poe, and 1 man in the open field is going to be what brings him down. And Poe is going to have a 1st down carry. Now get it back to him, and that'll be a tackle for a loss of 1. 3rd down and 7. Under center, Holst is going to move right. Throw one over the head of Givens. And I will say, as disappointing as it is to miss Givens there, a nice opening drive for this NIU squad, getting 3 points and looking pretty competent at least. We want the defense to keep the momentum going, but a swing pass, a wide open running back to the edge for a nice gain. That was just nobody in the area as the play action from Navarro, and he's got a lot of time. Eventually finds a tight end. Once again, it's Mason Williams with the grab, and now a play action once more over the middle, and the grab by Chase Hendricks as Ohio's moving the football pretty well, but that pass sailing overhead of a receiver is going to set up 3rd down. They're in field goal range, but the pass is going to be broken up. They went to the tight end Williams once again, and it was incomplete. Field goal try is going to be good, and we are tied up in this one. 3-3 the score. 1st quarter winding down as the handoff. Poe is going to get to the outside, and nice cut from Poe, and Jalen Poe with the stiff arm, 24 yards on the gain. Nice run there, and we are already closing in, and now inside enemy territory with the Gary Givens 1st down grab. 2nd quarter starts, 2nd down and 8.
Holst checks it down outside to Poe. It's going to get us maybe a yard. They give us nothing. 3rd down and 8. It's long distance field goal range. Holst is going to find LaDon Bryan, but it's 4th and 2. We're going for it, and we could kick the field goal, but we wanted to play for a touchdown, and it's not going to go our way. Maybe you say just take the points where you can get them because you already have a hard enough time to score them. I think Coach Easy, though, thinks he can't win a game just off field goals as this 3rd down pass up in the air. Thompson breaks it up, but it's just tired of taking these field goals. We need more touchdowns, and he wants to try to go for the touchdowns as Bryan, great grab, 24 yards, and Holst got us back in enemy territory again. I'm impressed with how much we're being able to move the football as Givens can't bring that one in. 3rd down and 9. Throwing, blitz off the left side, throwing it deep left, and that's going to be knocked away. And that's going to be a punt, but we are at least, I could say, also doing well in the field position game as Ohio's backed up inside their own 15. They get it to the 20 with that 7-yard gain. 3rd down and 1. They get the 1st down. Duncan Brune's been taking all the carries for this offense, and he will have another one straight up the middle, untouched on his way to the 1st down. And now 5 minutes to play. Passes high, and the tight end Williams has got it again. 5 grabs already for him in the 1st half. Direct snap to Brune. He's got the 1st down. And right at about midfield, this Ohio offense moving a little bit as the RPO is going to be to Jordan for a couple of yards. 2nd down and 4. Play action. Navarro turned his back to the defense and got sacked. Erweiler on the linebacker blitz is going to set up 3rd and 11. And another sack. And the defense comes up big there. We have the football with 3 minutes to play. And there's Givens on the spin move. So it seems like Holst, I was about to say, has been finding Givens a lot, but now Givens is hurt. As if, like, we can't just speak positively about somebody. 2nd down and 2 as Jalen Poe is going to fight ahead for the 1st down. Poe has been pretty impressive this 1st half. And we're going to keep it going with Poe. His 11th carry of the half. Another 2-minute warning as hit. Holst is going to throw over the middle, and he got hit. 4th down and 6. The offense still out there. 4th and 6. Not an easy one, but the flow one for LaDon Bryan, and it's going to be a 1st down. That was a bold call, and a lot more trust in this offense maybe deserves, but it worked out. But 3rd down and 9 quickly approaches, and Holst, can he make him pay off that 4th down conversion? Well, it's going to be setting up another one. 4th and 1. Poe takes a direct snap, and Poe, nice job on the hesitation, gets the 1st down. 45 seconds to go. This has been a lot of plays on this drive. Flag is down, and Holst will get basically back to the line of scrimmage on that one, but it will be a holding penalty. And this drive has been a long drive, but now backed up the 1st and 20. Screen outside. Poe, another touch for him as they just try to get those penalty yards back. They got 7 of them. 34 seconds to go. Holst rolling out, and he's going to throw across his body. Morrow, the tight end. 25 seconds to go, and it's 1st down. And another completion. LaDon Bryan for 6. 20 seconds to play. Holst from the 14. Partridge inside the 5. All this could be for nothing if we can't cash in. 12 seconds, and the handoff is going to be short. Final timeout used. 9 seconds to go from the 2. Holst on the blitz, and in. Touchdown! LaDon Bryan right at the pylon, and a perfect drive. That was a 17-play drive that took out the rest of the 2nd quarter, scoring with 9 seconds to go. Bryan, 8 targets, 6 grabs, 63 yards, and that touchdown in the 1st half. And that was the best that offense had looked all year. And we have a halftime lead, and we get the football to start the 2nd half as they go to Jalen Poe, spins off a defender. I think Poe's been really impressive so far, and we've given him the football a whole bunch. Holst hit as he's throwing. 3rd down and 7. Don't want to go 3 and out. We want to keep this momentum going as Holst is going to find a receiver. Rogers, 4th down and 1. Well, they're going to go for it again. It worked on the final drive of the 1st half. How about the first drive of the 2nd half? Poe up the middle. He stopped. And one too many 4th down tries potentially as the Ohio Bobcats are going to be a great field position now from the 33. 2nd and 9, Navarro. It's been a while since we've heard from him because NIU's ran like the last 25 plays. 3rd down and 3 as they hand it off, and a 1st down to the 21-yard line.
And Bruin with another carry. He's going to run past Erweiler, and he's inside the 10. Goal to go. Ohio looking for the tie. It's a handoff to Bruin. He's going to be meeting Finley at the 3. Goes down. 3rd down and goal. Pump fake as Navarro touchdown. Back of the end zone, and this game is all tied up. And we're going to go and try to see what this offense can do now. Will it be a one-drive wonder game for us, as we haven't looked that good all season? Can we replicate at least some of it? 2nd down and 4. Holst rolling right. And Holst, he's maybe got enough speed to run here. He gets to the edge. He gets the 1st down. I'm liking what I'm seeing a little bit from Holst, as he'll throw underneath, and Rogers spin move. Rogers getting some more playing time as Gary Gibbons still banged up, as the handoff now. Jalen Poe stop 3rd down and 3, as they'll go back to Poe. Another carry and another stop. 4th down and 3. And how about sending the offense out here? I think we've made our decision on how we're going to play this game. Come on! That was wide open. That ball was a little high, so I can't completely blame the receiver for not being able to bring that one in, but that is an opportunity you just can't mess up. The play design was good. The decision was good. The execution was bad. And now Navarro taking a shot, Dave. He's got it. Touchdown. And one mistake on our end leads to an Ohio lead. And now Jalen Poe. He's got the carry of the first play of the drive. Step forward, Poe. And he goes from our 30 to their 32. He's up over 100 yards on 20 carries. And Jalen Poe, how about a read option? And that gets stopped for a loss of 4. So slow things down. We need to do something else to capitalize on that big run. LaDon Bryant catch and run for a gain of 14. 3rd down and inches. Get it to the running back, Smith. And that's the freshman running back who's going to be stepping in as the backup. He'll be seeing some carries. Holst has a wide open man underneath. 2 defenders chasing him, and we're inside the 10. Goal to go. Handoff. Poe. Can he get into the end zone? He gets a couple at the 3 for 2nd and goal. That handoff is going to get blown up in the backfield. Loss of 2. 3rd down and goal. 4th quarter upon us just about as Holst gets sacked. And a field goal try is going to be on its way. Kick is no good. Come on, another big mistake. And it's 17-10. Does it feel like we can ever win a game? As that's a 1st down grab. Williams, the tight end, is getting going again, potentially. Running back Mathis, the 2nd back, is getting a carry. He loses a yard. Mathis still in the game as 2nd down and 11. Pass right down the middle, and there goes Williams again. He had 5 catches in the 1st half, was quiet in the 3rd quarter. Now he's getting going in the 4th, as a pass is going to be caught for a gain of 7. It sets up 3rd and 3. They go with the handoff, and he's not going to get there at the 38-yard line. They're too scared to maybe go for that 55-yard field goal. They punt it. Another try for this team to get a tie out of this one, as Smith, another running back, is going to get the 1st down. Run game's been so good today. How about a screen? Poe, he's really feeling the wear and tear from this one, but he is fighting, and a couple of injuries from Ohio have come in. 2 on this drive already. Morrow, it's going to be 1st down. And now from the 45-yard line, Smith. Poe is just too tired to even come in and carry the football consistently anymore. 3rd down and 5. Outside. It's going to be knocked away. 4th and 5. Keep it going. The offense is out there. And underneath, Poe wide open. They're doubling down on 4th down. And they want to win this game. Holst is going to find Partridge underneath for a gain of 10 2nd and inches. Counter run. Smith gets through the line. And Smith has got it to the 25. Come on, guys. Give it to Smith again. He's running it well. And he's breaking a tackle. And he's inside the 15. Back to Smith. He's not going to get quite as far this time. Loses a yard even. And now a draw to Poe. And Poe spins off a tackle. I cannot say enough about the fight of Jalen Poe in this one. But it's 3rd down and 8. Blitz sent in. Pass outside. It's going to take Smith out of bounds. How about another 4th down? 4th and 6. Get him on the line. Outside. Caught. Touchdown. Partridge on the comeback. They went to him, and he brings it in. 2 minutes to play, and we're all tied up here as that pass is going to be caught. Ohio, what a play. Finley could knock it away as Burn on the carry. He's going to go outside, and he's fighting. He's trying, but he's going to lose a yard. 1:45 to play. Navarro over the middle, caught and brought down just shy of the marker. 3rd down in inches. Navarro is going to have a high pass, but in enemy territory. Closing in on field goal range. Navarro, quick slam. That's going to be intercepted. Miles Thompson, the ball was high, and Thompson, it went right into his hands, and Ohio turns it over. We're at the 44, a minute to play. We can get into field goal range. Just keep it on the ground. Smith is going to have a solid run. Get it to the enemy 42, and now a gain of 14 from Smith is going to result in another carry for him. A gain of 7 from the 35. Smith again, another first down run to the 25, and just keep it going. He's going to spin inside for a gain of 1, but one more play to try to get closer. Smith is going to get a few more. 4th and 5, 21-yard line, 3 seconds to play. Field goal for the first win of the season. NIU, it took us 7 games, and the kick is good. As time expires, NIU has finally won a game, and it took a lot to happen. I mean, the quarterback situation was difficult, but I really have to commend Holst for the game that he played in this one. But I think a little bit of a philosophy change was big. That was some NIU football right there. Ground and pound. Holst, I mean, the yards per attempt was nothing crazy, but he did just enough time after time, multiple drives of 15-plus plays to get us in the end zone. That drive at the end of the half was huge. How about Jalen Poe? 24 carries for 128, and the freshman Amir Smith really came in the second half, was a bit of a secret weapon. 12 carries for 65 yards. That is a lot of running the football, and it worked out for us. LaDon Bryan, 77 yards at a touchdown. And even though Gary Givens went out in the first half, it did not matter. This team finally was able to win, and maybe we have found a little bit of a path to success for this squad. Maybe we have found something, even without Telly Johnson in this lineup. Just keep running the football, and maybe, just maybe, we'll have a chance. Now, I can say, I mean, Ohio was one of the only teams in the nation that were just as bad as us throughout the year, so can't celebrate too hard because that's probably the easiest game we had left on our schedule, but we can at least be happy that we got that first win. Just finally got it, and we don't have to worry about a potential 0-12 season. The game did also mean a little bit for recruiting, as, you know, watching the run game succeed the way it did, it really did impress the running backs and, you know, help with that play style deal breaker for us. So we got some of our guys a little bit more interested. You could see DeMar Coker a little bit more, you know, willing to talk to us once again, and some of these other running backs on our board. On top of that, Roxy Kennedy, obviously a player we just talked about before this game, definitely loved what he's seen, and I think Roxy Kennedy is a perfect fit for this squad. He's a lot like, you know, maybe the skill set of a Telly Johnson or a Jalen Poe, so I think he's a seamless fit. Commits are going to be starting to flood in a little bit as we get into the second half of the season. That is decisions maybe for our school or picking to go somewhere else, but we should start to see a little bit more in terms of commits as we head into the coming weeks, and we could even see some as early as after our next game. So when it comes to the next major player we have to talk about, I think I do want to focus on quarterback. Jalen Macon got benched, even though Holst did pretty nice. Do we really consider him the future of this team? I mean, if he keeps playing like he did this past week, maybe. But it's never a bad thing to keep your options open, and we have a really talented yet divisive QB on our board right now. It is time we get to talk about one of the most controversial players on our board, and that is quarterback Cash Riley, who is out of Dayton, Ohio, 6'4", 234 pounds, a 3-star prospect, and someone that we are very much in the running for. He is your prototypical QB build in terms of the type of quarterback that you would want.
10, 15 years ago. Not too much of a runner. He is not completely immobile. You get him in the open field, he'll run by a couple of guys, but you are not really designing runs for him. You are not drawing up things for him. He is mostly going to do a lot of his damage throwing the football. And Riley possesses high-level arm strength, like a legit cannon arm. And his best attribute being that he could throw the football not only far, but accurately down the field. I would even say that it is above average. Now, you are looking at that and saying, well, why is a 6'4", high-level arm quarterback who seemingly has what you would imagine is pretty good upsides, not really more highly recruited by a lot of bigger schools? He is just a 3-star. Well, one, it is the lack of overall running ability and mobility that is more needed in today's football. But also, I think the biggest thing comes with his personality. This is the type of guy who is incredibly passive, incredibly just... the best word to describe him would be aloof, and the type of guy that is a bit of a headache at times. He is somebody who, is always there to maybe take the credit when you succeed, but not always there to take the blame when you lose. He is not the type of guy that you're sending out there in the huddle to make that motivational speech before a game. And teams always want their quarterbacks, no matter how good or bad they are, no matter where they are in the pecking order, no matter what they do. They are the most important position on your team. You want them to be the leaders of your offense. You want to send them out there and they motivate the team. You lead with your quarterback and you follow them into battle. He's a stubborn quarterback at times who doesn't always like to do the safe thing, the reliable thing. Maybe doesn't always take his checkdowns. Maybe doesn't always go through his reads the natural way. There will be plenty of times where he'll miss an open receiver because he's trying to do things his way. He is very much a player that is going to make a head coach throw his clipboard across the sidelines and maybe smash a tablet on the bench type of player. But the talent is undeniable, and with the leadership that this coaching staff at Northern Illinois is trying to foster here, we are trying to bring in players of all different types and all different personalities and show that we can be a real talent developing team. You give us talent, we can turn that talent into success. Cash Riley is a player who I think if you were to take off some of his off the field personality type of issues, maybe would be closer to a 4-star player, or at the very least would be a dozen, 24 spots higher in terms of quarterback rankings, where he is outside the top 50. Riley wants to be great. He has passion for the game of football, but doesn't always put in the effort, or doesn't always, hit the gym or hit the film studies or do the homework that he always needs to. And a lot of that could just be down to he's still young and he's immature. That is definitely something that happens. Sometimes it just clicks for guys a little bit later. Sometimes they hit their sophomore, junior year in high school and they're like that. And some guys, it takes them till they get into college and, they realize that their opportunity and their time is running out if they ever want to be an NFL type of player. So maybe it clicks a little bit later for him, or maybe it just never clicks and he never takes that next step from a maturity standpoint. But as of right now, Cash Riley is a bit of an enigma as a personality with undeniable arm talent.
Well, it's time for a little bit of a rivalry game as we're back at home today, taking on Ball State. As we're wearing the all-red jerseys, these ones look really nice, as the home crowd is maybe a little bit happier to see us after finally getting our first win of the year and showing some signs of hope that maybe this offense can turn things around a little bit. So NIU taking on Ball State, and we are ready to head into this game with Josh Tolst as our quarterback once more, and Jalen Poe coming off a really big game. Defense, though, will be coming out first. This is a bit of a tiebreaker for this series, as this is their 51st meeting. 25-25 is your record right now. Ball State's won the last 3 matchups, so let's try to break that streak a little bit. 2nd down and 10, as the handoff right up the middle is going to be a 1st down. Quarterback for Ball State, Kyle Kelly, as he drops the throw, and on 2nd down, he misses his man.
3rd down and 9 from the 23. Kelly is going to go backwards, and he's running a little too far back. Fumble! That ball's really far back. It's scooped up by Ball State, but it's a loss of 21. Jelani Williams got in there, and a 4th and 31. They're punting in their own end zone, and we could have some really good field position here. The punt is going to be blocked! It's a blocked punt in the end zone. Touchdown! NIU! Blocking the punt and giving us a 7-0 lead. What a job from the Huskies special team unit, as even though we weren't able to scoop up that fumble and that hurt a little bit, it didn't end up really hurting us all that much because we got the touchdown we wanted in the end, and now we have the early lead as Kelly just fires that one into coverage. It's incomplete as he'll drop the throw again. 2nd down and 10. He's got a lot of time. Finally, he's going to run it, and he's got a lot of room. He can move, and he gets him all the way to midfield after sliding down, and now a handoff to the edge. That's going to be Ashley. Quay Ashley, the running back, has 21 yards on this game already from the 34. 1st and 10, and there goes Kelly on the run, scrambling ahead again for 18 yards from the 16 as they'll throw outside. Caught it. He reached for the 1st down. Goal to go from the 6. Kelly is going to get sacked and fumble it again. But again, this Husky team can't pick it up. And what a play that would have been if we could have turned them over. As Kelly now 3rd down and goal from the 17. Lot of time. Floating one up. It's caught but out of bounds. And they'll settle for 3. But that's 2 forced fumbles by this defense. 0 able to be scooped up. I mean, I guess you can say 3 forced fumbles if you're counting the block punt, so I guess we have scooped up 1. Still, though, missed opportunity last drive to make sure that they couldn't get on the board, but 7-3 as Jalen Poe's going to get 6 on his first carry. Holst to the air as he's got an open man, and there's LaDon Bryant, this team's leading receiver, and nice freshman year he has had despite the quarterback play as Holst. There you go. Look at Holst on the run. Got a lot of room there. Weren't expecting to have him pull it. 16 yards and from midfield. Holst is going to just flat out miss. That's just a bad pass. 3rd down and 11. Holst is going to be in the face of pressure. He delivers to Partridge. Spin move, and Partridge trying to fall forward. He gets it to 4th and 4, and just like last week, this team's being aggressive, going for it, and the pass is just off the mark. That's just flat out bad throw from Holst, so maybe some early game nerves or something there because he missed 2 of those and looking a little bit like Jalen Macon. We don't want to see that as Ashley on the screen. 3rd down and 3. He'll have the 1st down, gain of 10, and get into the 40-yard line. 1st quarter winding down. Kelly floats one. Ashley wide open, and he is a dual threat out of the backfield. Both guys are, as they have a dual threat quarterback who can run it, and they got a dual threat running back who can catch it. As Ashley right down the middle. No one was there. Touchdown. And Ball State's got the lead. Other than a blocked punt right now, it's been all Ball State as Jalen Poe takes the care. This offense has barely even seen the field because of the blocked punt and, you know, the fact that they've had the football the entire time and they've strung together some long drives as now from the 34-yard line. 2nd down and 8. Holst with the play action. He's going to be pressured, sacked in the fumble, and Ball State picks it up. And that is just brutal. We forced 2 fumbles from the quarterback, and we pick up neither. They force 1. They pick it up. And even though it's 3rd down and 14, and they're not going to get a 1st down, still, you basically handed them a free 3 points. And the kick is going to be good. 13-7 is your score. Offense has been bad today as Holst is going to get sacked again. 2nd of the game, back-to-back plays. Holst gets the screen now and beating the blitz, so that's going to be Poe for a gain of 7, but you're going to have to punt it away. Couldn't really do much on 3rd and 16. Ashley now, great field position for this Ball State offense, and he's going to get 4, 2nd down and 6. Kelly is going to get brought down, and at least the pressure is helping us out. 3rd down and 12. Kelly is running around. He's going to get rid of it. Incomplete, and we take the football back with under 5 minutes to go. Can you put together a drive like you did in the last game against Ohio to end the half? As on 3rd down and 10, threatening to go 3 and out, you have a wide open man on the left. He throws it right, and even though the decision wasn't great, it still was completable, but he just missed the ball. I mean, like, he just got to make a better pass there. Brian had it, able to be caught, but he just missed him, and then he missed a wide open guy on the other side. So multiple missed opportunities there. Defense will get a stop, and we'll get the football back. 3 minutes, the same situation as last week. Holst rolling left. He's going to throw, and he got hit, and it's going to be 3rd down and 10, so threatening to go 3 and out again. Holst is going to get it completed. LaDon Bryant comes up big, and now Jalen Poe is going to get a 2-yard carry there. Haven't been able to run the football quite as much as we would have liked. There's been a lot of bad situations as that pass thrown up in the air and went one-on-one for Bryant, incomplete. 2-minute warning hits, and it'll be Ball State football as that hole opened up nicely. And Quay Ashley has had a nice day, but it's also been the blocking of this offensive line that has been dominant for them to open up these lanes for Ashley, as Kelly's going to throw on 3rd down and 2, and he just flat out missed him. So it's nice to see that go, in our favor this time around, as Holst is going to get sacked on a 3-man rush. That was just not great pocket movement from Holst, as he'll roll right, and he's got 2 guys open. He'll go to the deeper route, and Gary Gibbons, 1st down and more, gain of 28, 10 seconds to go, get it down to 7 seconds. They'll run it, and they'll surprise Ball State with the carry, and there goes Poe, 1 second to play and burning the timeout. That was a bold call, but it did surprise them. It worked to get us a 55-yard field goal try. Kick on its way. It is good. So even though the offense was horrible in the first half, you get a little bit to go your way in the end of the half. You get, 20 seconds, and you do what you need to do to get points on the board. You're still losing, though, 13-10. Most of your points have come off a special teams play, and you haven't really had the ball in your possession all that much. So it's time to get the football in the second half, as they started off with a Poe 5-yard carry. Holst to the air. Flag is down. It's going to be a 1st down for Brian. He got a nice catch and run. Doesn't matter, though, as there's never a good time for a hold, but there are certainly times that are worse than others, and that was not a good time to hold when we were really needing a play like that to help spark this offense a little bit. 2nd down and 15. Pass to Givens. That's nice. Gain of 10. 3rd down and manageable, as Holst is going to look right. Another flag down. Holst on the run. Had an open man, and it was too low. So even if you completed that pass, it didn't matter because it's a hold anyway. And that is just brutal. I mean, 2 holding calls, and Ball State in great field position again. Quay Ashley in the open field makes a man miss, and Ashley from the 20, 15, fighting inside and getting to the 12. Has a big run for the running back, Ashley. Now they go to the backup, Ferguson. He loses 3. Weird to see a running back wearing number 83. I don't like that, but he's going to get the screen, and he will get about 3 yards on the play. 3rd down and 10, as Kelly end zone, and Finley has it broken up. 4th down, field goal try is going to be sneaking in that right up, right? So 1-score game still. A lot of field goals being forced by this defense, and if this offense could just find something, it would be so helpful, as they have not been able to do much. As Poe gets a 1st down grab, and Holst is going to throw it back left. Morrow going to get 4 yards on the play. Holst just goes over 100 yards through the air there. Poe with the carry, doesn't get much. 4th down and 5. They punt it. Could have went for it, but I mean, with the way this offense is playing, is it even worth going for it? I mean, at least last week they strung together a couple of 4th down conversions, and you felt like they were doing some good stuff. But this game, I mean, they've been ice cold, and it's going to be a 1st down completion there. 3rd down and 2 gets converted. Ferguson on the ground. They're giving Ashley a bit of a rest, and Ferguson's doing the job. 10-yard gain there, and they'll run it to him again. Blocking wide open. This middle rushing defense is just awful. I mean, we're able to contain on the outside okay, but once you run up the middle, our interior gets bulldozed. And Ferguson, there you go. You run it outside, and we get the stop. We get the football back, but you run it inside on this defense, and it might just be easy 5 to 10 yards every single time. 3rd down and 3 for Holst, as he'll throw. That pass gonna be broken up. Givens couldn't hang on. Another punt. 1 minute to play in the 3rd quarter. Kelly over the middle, caught, and he got by Finley, who makes the tackle. 3rd quarter winding down, and that's going to be a sack. So the defense at least has some nice pass rushing to help us, but 3rd down and 16. Kelly is going to slide down, and he will punt the football back to us. So, I mean, there's been basically no offense the last couple of drives, as Poe I mean, it's been a rougher day for Jalynne Poe. He hasn't been able to find much room, but maybe he can get something here. He can't. Little too much of a dancing in the backfield. 4th down and 2. They're going to go for it. Finally just saying, you know, we got to make a play, and Givens has the 1st down. And with 8 minutes to play, a risky 4th down call pays off. Holst to the air. Outside, just missed him. Open, and it was off target. And this is looking a lot more like Jalynne making. 4th and 15. Now you got to punt it. You can go for it on 4th and 5 or less, but you can't go for it on 4th and 15 that far backed up. You got to just hope the defense can come up with a stop, but how much more can you ask from this defense? They've been put in bad spots, and they've allowed 16 points. Read option for Kelly as he's going to go to the outside and get 6. Under 6 minutes to play. Wide open man on the RPO. And this is just looking a little bit rough. I mean, despite it being 16-10, it doesn't feel like it's all that close, but somehow, some way, it is a one-score game for now, but how much longer will it be as they're in field goal range with 4 minutes to play? Read option, lot of room. Kelly cuts it inside, touchdown. And there's that, 2-score lead starting to open up, and Ball State is, not going to have to do much to stop this offense. Is just 3 points from them all day. Holst hit as he's throwing incomplete. 4th down and 4 with 3.5 to go. Hit as he's throwing incomplete. Ball State takes over, and now they are going to get stopped, settle for a field goal, and it will be still a 2-score game, but not confident in this one. 2.5 to go. Holst underneath. Givens is going to get a 1st down. So Givens with 5 grabs on the day. He's at least had an okay game, but I mean, another hit from Holst. 4th down again. Holst to the air. Will he even be able to deliver? Yes, he will. There you go, Givens. Nice play. And a 1st down. Holst has had a really rough day. He's taken a lot of hits, and at least he's been able to hang in there the best he could. 4th down and 2, another 4th down situation with under a minute to go. Pass is going to be caught, and in Northern Illinois, maybe going to have another garbage time, too little, too late. Touchdown! Nope, it's going to be intercepted, and this game is all over. 26-10 is your final, but it didn't feel all that close. I mean, 2-score game at least gives you the idea that maybe it was within reach, but it never really felt like we had much of a chance with the way this offense was playing, and I can't really say much about this game because you go, 3 for 15 on 3rd down, you complete less than 50% of your passes, you average 4.5 yards per attempt, you run the football for less than 3.5 a carry with Jalynne Poe. We weren't able to establish the run at all. I mean, Givens had a nice day, I guess, but I mean, Kelly didn't have to do a whole lot. He only had to throw for 130 yards because they ran for over 150, and they had 3 different guys take the football and run it effectively. And Quay Ashley, I mean, basically didn't even get involved all that much in that second half, but he did so much whenever he did touch the football. So at least we can go to some positivity, though. We have our first commit, Cameron Hurt, free safety from California. We did lose out on the other safety, Cedric Doss. That's okay. Taking a look at Hurt, I think he is a little miscast here. He's not going to be playing free safety for us. He's definitely going to be making the move over to strong safety and being that more box type. So I think he is a player that could actually be a little bit better than what his overall stats indicate, because I do think him playing free safety is just not where he should be. I think he is more of a strong safety, so maybe we have a little bit of a steal there, but I think he has a nice skill set. Just got to get the coverage up, and he's not a great athlete, so it's a pretty okay first commit. I mean, at this point, with the way this team is playing, it's a miracle anyone wants to come to this school, and we have to remove some guys from our board because, well, any decent halfway competent school offers on them and shows interest. I mean, you're going to probably pick them over us. So nice to get somebody on the board. And we do have some more recruiting news as we are on our bye week as well. So I guess a much-needed rest after that embarrassing showing of offense. But we do got plenty more to update you on recruiting. We will be taking a bit of a heavier look at the state of Illinois because we have a little bit of a doubleheader when it comes to stories. I told you we'd have info on Jalynne Leane's visit to NIU that took place, and also we'll be taking a look at the player that was the #1 rated player in Illinois after Jalynne Leane's dropping in overall recruiting grade from a 5-star to a 3-star. So pretty heavily focused on our state for the last recruiting update, but I think we have some good news to at least report on with Leane and some of these other players that are interested in us. We also have another commit once we go past the bye week, Steve Winey, who I think is one of the more just straight up talented players we have from a physical profile. The strength and the speed and the athleticism are there. He's got to develop some other skills, but I think that leads us nicely into our next story. I am very happy to report after visiting his short list of schools that he had, he only had about 4 to 6 schools that he was really considering, and he saved his visit for NIU last because it was the one closest to home. And when he was brought onto campus, basically he was Alondro Easy was there by his side the entire time. And it's not often that you get to have a wide receiver as a head coach, because generally former players that are head coaches are quarterbacks, really smart players like quarterbacks, and you get defenders like safety or linebacker. Those are typically the positions that are the most translatable to being a head coach, because those are the positions you got to be the smartest in. Not to call any other position dumb, but you just generally don't see wide receivers as coaches. But it was definitely an instant connection with Alondro Easy, just getting to see the skills of Jalynne Leane on film and then translate that to the type of person he is, getting to talk to him. He absolutely loved chatting with Jalynne, and the two had a long conversation. They took a tour around the program. They talked heavily about not just football, but his sister and his family situation. And you could tell that Jalynne really enjoyed getting to connect with a former, really productive college wide receiver, and a guy who, even though he never really made much in the NFL and did much, but, at least got there and, won a national championship and everything at Baylor. So there was definitely a lot of fun conversations to be had. And because of that, and also some other accommodations that were made for Jalynne Leane and some parameters that he had, wanting to, not only set himself up for success, being sure he's able to play, but also being sure his sister could be taken care of and everything, Jalynne Leane walked out of NIU knowing that he was probably going to be enrolling at NIU next season. And for this program, it is a massive get. But it didn't come without any sort of a cost, as while we don't have NIL money to just throw around like that, and not nearly as much as some other schools are able to offer, we had things that Jalynne Leane wasn't getting from any other schools. During his freshman season, Jalynne will be allowed to take 1 practice a week off to go take care of his sister, get her to high school, make sure she's all situated. On top of that, when his sister eventually does get to play basketball again next year in her senior year of high school, he was promised that the school would at least take a look at her and see if she would be potentially someone that could enroll at the school the year following to be a part of the women's basketball team, which is something that also not a lot of people could really offer. You're obviously not going to straight up promise, like, yeah, you will bring her in, but if she comes back from injury and is able to have some upward momentum and show that she is still a capable player, then yeah, maybe she will be brought along. And it's going to lead to maybe those two attending school together, which obviously is a big deal for Jalynne. So we were able to offer him a lot of things that a lot of teams weren't. Practice accommodations, early playing time, and potentially setting his sister up for her future success, as no one else is going to guarantee her any sort of scholarships, and we're not guaranteeing her anything, but if she can go and earn it, she will be here. So for Jalynne Leane, that was all he really needed to hear. On top of that, him and Coach Easy, like I said, they connected very well, getting to, learn from a former wide receiver. He felt like a school that was close to home, a school that accommodated him, a school that was really good to him, a school that he really connected with their coach. It was a good fit all around, and everything had to fall right. All the dominoes had to really be in our favor. But that's how a school like NIU is going to be able to land a really talented player in Jalynne Leane. 3 stars may be what the recruiting rank says, but he is a lot better than a 3-star player, because if he plays like he did in his junior year of high school, and that 1 year off of football last year doesn't affect him too much, then I think we could be having one of the most talented players this school has seen step foot on campus. So we're going to be excited to welcome Jalynne to the squad next year, and he was formerly the #1 player in the state of Illinois. Let's take a look at the player who ended up overtaking him and has drawn a lot of interest from a lot of big-time schools. When we spoke a few episodes ago about Jalynne Leane, one of the things we said was going into the season, he was the #1 player in the state of Illinois, and he was the only 5-star prospect that we were presumed to have. And with him going down, well, the next man up was 4-star safety Julius Weston, who now is the #1 player in the state of Illinois. He's a player that, despite being, from this state and being a home state kid, not really going to be able to get still at a 4-star, 8th best safety in the nation. And a team like Michigan, Tennessee, Illinois, Kansas State are all the teams attacking him, but this is a guy, rangy center field safety, high zone IQ, smooth lateral mover, the type of guy that you really want to have in today's football, where he has the ability to cover sideline to sideline, probably can run maybe even as high as a 4.3, a sub 4.40 time, and he can move very nicely. He's not just got the straight line speed, he's got that lateral change of direction movement and is able to react very well. So when you are looking at him, in that 15, 20 plus yard coverage range, he's actually one of the better safeties in the nation when it comes to that coming out of high school. But what kind of keeps him off that next tier, that 5-star, a top 5 safety in the country, it's the lack of versatility. He's not a guy who can really play in the box. He's not a guy who's going to be doing a whole lot of nickel play. He's basically just a free center field safety, and that is, not something teams are always looking for. A lot of teams like to run 2 high safeties, and a lot of teams just like that versatility at their safety position. A lot of guys, a lot of teams and coaches love the idea of versatility. You can play a guy at nickel, you can play a guy in the box, you can play a guy in that star role, you can play him in a multitude of positions. Weston, not that type of guy. And on top of that, him being, not really experienced in those positions and not really good playing close to the line of scrimmage, tackling is not something he is the best at. He is always kind of in that last line of defense position, and he doesn't always make that tackle, but he does at least sometimes, but is not always put in positions to make tackles, because it's not always, when teams are running the football, you're constantly getting 20 yards down the field to even meet him in the first place. So tackling needs to get better. It's more just a lack of experience, in a lot of tackling situations where he's just not playing close to the line of scrimmage. His run profile defense isn't really all that existent. And, I guess if you want another knock on him, just average ball skills. And, he's not a guy who's coming out with 7, 8 interception type seasons, but he'll get you a couple, maybe make the occasional nice play. But a smart, quick moving, rangy center field safety, a role that a lot of defenses love to have on their team. And he's the type of player that, as a defensive mind, certain coaches are going to fall in love with his high IQ and his ability to play that last line of defense at the pass game and keep up with some of these speedy deep threat receivers. And that will wrap things up. So a pretty eventful set of weeks, getting the first win of the season, our first couple of commits, and then the big story of landing Jalynne Leane. A couple of other players we took a look at, like Cash Riley and Roxy Kennedy. We'll see if those players end up coming along. With the way this season has gone, it's very likely we'll be wrapping up the regular season in the next episode. So I hope you guys all enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think of these incoming prospects, Jalynne Leane landing here. I hope you guys all enjoyed, like I said, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.